All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of Automate Live. I'm Jake Hall, the Manufacturing Millennial. Today we're going to have an amazing conversation on how companies are leveraging new technologies into new industries to solve problems. Now, I'm here talking with Jonathen Karavolias. He is the sales manager for the Americas at SMW Autoblok. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well. Day 3, feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a packed week so far.
It has. We've got a nice amount of traffic, great discussions. Enjoying the Chicago culinary experience every day is a new experience. So.
You know, and the atmosphere has been absolutely amazing.
Super.
Seeing a lot of people who are excited to solve problems in the industry. It's been a lot of fun. But I want to learn specifically how SMW Autoblok is solving problems. So for the audience that doesn't know, could you give us a background about the company?
Sure. So SMW Autoblok may be new to the automation world, but we're not new to, for example, CNC manufacturing.
Yeah.
We are an established entity there, and we've been there for many, many years. I mean, we're in a European company based in Turin, Italy. What is not known, we actually acquired companies in Germany. So we're almost like, it's a funny dynamic.
Yeah.
We've got an Italian headquarters and a German technology center. So I always call it the pizza beer connection. So,
which is a good combination to have.
And it's always good when they talk technology because they're always fighting. The Italians are very passionate, and the Germans are very sure, and it brings a lot of energy in there.
Absolutely.
But it's two cultures. But you know, we've been in the CNC industry for a long time. Work holding stationary work, holding chucks. We're a market leader in a lot of industries and where we sell into. We have established relationships with a lot of players in the industry, such as your Mazaks, your Akumas, DMI Moris, and they see us as a partner.
Yeah.
But of course, like I said, you know, the trends in that industry is moving to more automation, machine tending. A lot of things are moving in that direction. We never jumped on that bandwagon early because we were really happy with where we are. But you know, times are changing, and we have to be on that trend. So we made the commitment, and we invested the money to develop, solutions for automation, especially in machine tending and for CNC automation, but they translate into a wider breadth of industries.
Absolutely. And I think that really reflects well with your background. So you've been in the industry for 18 years, and you've actually then lived in Germany.
Yes, I have.
For many of those years. You were over there, you served over there, you worked on helicopters overseas. So you come from a technical maintenance, understanding how things work background. And I think the highlight of that as well is when there are problems that are happening in the industry, you're able to then work directly with that German engineering team. You know, so what's been that experience going back and forth and communicating problems right back to the engineering team?
It's a definite advantage because, like I said before, you know, if you work for a German company and you basically are here stationed, they don't understand the American kind of mentality, and the Americans don't understand the German mentality. I'm almost like a bridge in that relationship, so I can interface directly with the engineering over there, talk to them about the application, tell them what it is there in a way that they understand it, and it actually speeds a lot of the process going forward. And of course, it's comfortable that for them speaking in their own native tongue, engineering that deep with me, and then of course I take that, interface that with a thing. So in a way, that's kind of my special sauce to kind of discussing that, and it brings a lot of value. And that's why they kind of enjoy engaging with me. They have a lot of hesitation talking to an American customer directly. Once I kind of sit in the midst, they feel a little bit more comfort level.
Absolutely, you know, they feel like you're blending in a little bit better when it comes to stuff like that. So one of the new technologies that you guys I know are pushing recently is your inductive coupler technology.
Yes.
Now, it makes sense. It's been in the machine tending industry for a long time, right? When you're doing tool changes or you're replacing all your work holding devices, a lot of times you're automating that work holding device. So hey, it can come in and can come out. You don't need to have an operator manually, cranking and opening down the clamps. But you're pushing that now into the automation industry, the robotics industry. Can you talk about what that transition was like and what you're doing in this space?
Yeah, I mean, when people think about work holding, everybody thinks about jaws and chucks and they're dumb and everything like that. It's not the case. It's becoming much more, we need a lot more sensors in there because we're holding work pieces that are much more fine, like especially industries like aviation and medical. It's not a big block of metal anymore. It's you've got to make sure that you're putting the right amount of pressure. Therefore, we have to integrate sensors. Now, how do you do that on a rotating platform at 2,000 RPM? And you've got to power the sensor and you get the feedback. So that's where the evolution of the inductive coupler came in, and that's where we started developing, a whole family of products in regards to that to solve our problems. How do I, give that feedback to the, the CNC machine to basically make sure that it's holding it at the right pressure. That was the impetus for this. But the thing is, developing it for that industry, you see a whole range of other applications. I mean, slip rings are established in there. I used to sell slip rings many years ago, and they're a great product.
Yeah.
But the inductive adds a dimension where I can basically seal that up. IP protection is really high. Vibration is not an issue, and I can basically, have a certain offset. That it doesn't have to be exactly set up correctly, and that's something that's really key. And the form, fit, function factor of that, I can basically change the shape, whether it be a threaded to a ring style, or I can make a ring with a receiver. And so there's a lot of variability of how to actually place it on the machine, which gives a lot of flexibility to customers that are like, oh, I have to solve this problem. How do I bridge that gap?
Yeah.
And that is like that special sauce where we saw for our own needs to solve that problem. Now we can translate it into a wider industry that are looking for it. For example, end of arm tooling.
Yeah.
Right? Biggest problem is cable management.
Yep.
Imagine if I had an inductive coupler on the end of there where instead of 270 degrees that I can go past that. It gives a lot more flexibility.
Yeah.
Another application in robotics is, quick changers. You got the nice little mechanical pins on there that wear all the time, which, we do a lot of tool changing, especially on our applications for machine tending in-house. We saw that issue and said, we're replacing these all the time. Why not put an inductive coupler there that never touches, never wears, and that's basically solving a problem for us. So.
And I remember that when I was doing some machine design back in the day and we had rotary tables.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare to get consistent, connectivity on devices, even if it's through power, if it's communication, if it's I/O, if it's some kind of protocol. There's a lot to it when it comes to when you're not using inductive coupler, but I mean, this would have been 5-6 years ago when I first experienced, probably even longer than that, really started seeing inductive coupler technology. It's really simple now.
It is.
And I think before sometimes it might have been a little intimidating because you're like,
Absolutely.
okay, how does this work when it's communicating wirelessly? There's risks to it, but I think the risks have really been reduced in years.
Yeah, and it's also, the people accept a little bit more because, look, your iPhone is being inductively charged.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Years ago when I was selling slip rings, inductive was a fantasy technology, and people were skeptical about it. It's much more accepted today. We can transmit Ethernet signals across a 6 millimeter gap without any signal, reductions. I had issues with vibration with slip rings back in the day, and it was, one byte is what it takes to get a messed up signal, and now you can do a consistent signal across that, and that's really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you're putting these solutions out there, what should either integrators or custom machine builders know about this technology when they want to integrate this type of solution? What are the type of questions they should be asking? What applications should they be looking out for? What's the best approach for integrating this technology?
I think they have to look at it, what they're trying to achieve, first of all. What is the sensors they're trying to mount on there? If they're trying to put motors on there? What is the power? Basically, power and signal are our baselines in there, okay? And, we have, a set form of, normal standard solutions that they can basically fit in there. If they can do that, great, no problem. But if there's some challenge with the geometry, is it a different shape? Is it a rotary table? Do they have to get the power and signal transmitted a different way? Is there those kind of concerns? Then we can start having those discussions. Once we have the baseline, then we can have the discussions as would the standard solution fit, or do we have to go a little bespoke on there?
Yeah.
Okay. But they have to be, I think, realistic of what they're trying to do within the application, and then we can actually, solve and basically, transmit the power and signal that they need there.
Absolutely. So we look at just general trends in the industry, right? Companies are automating more and more. They're bringing robotics more into the industry. What are you most excited for about when the industry is moving forward, the type of trends and technology that you want to see?
I see a lot of, there's a lot of players, especially a lot of robotics players in the marketplace. We're coming in here as an end-of-arm tool or thing. So, we're looking at, just the wide variety of trends that are coming here, integration of other technology, not only our technology as grippers or inductive couplers, but we're talking about vision that's coming in here. That's always been there. AI, generative AI is going to be a huge trend for us. We're thinking about that also. I mean, just for grippers, we've seen some of what our competitors are doing, which is great stuff, and that's going to drive us into developing better products in the future. But we see a lot of the AI trends as being a key thing. I just see the applications are changing so much. Machine tending where we're based is changing every single day.
Absolutely.
And we see the variations in there. And I mean, that's our world, and we have to adjust and change to it. Now, of course, we're stepping into the big world of automation in general. And then, we're going to learn from it too. We're going to develop as a company.
Absolutely. So when we're walking the trade show floor here, there's going to be 40,000 people that are walking here. And you've been in the industry for a long time, 18 plus years. What would you say to this next generation that wants to enter our industry? What were the hints and tips that you would give them around being a part of automation, being a part of robotics, going to join the SMW Autoblok team that's making new technologies to make automation easier? What would you say to this next gen?
Be curious. Sometimes don't do the traditional, educational pathway. I'm a big believer in apprenticeships. I think I mentioned to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
My son did an apprenticeship. That's the way to learn. Get in there on the ground floor. Get your hands dirty, and then develop from there. I didn't take the straight path. I was fixing helicopters. Then I did my master's. Then I started doing other things. The straight path doesn't exist. Be as diverse as possible. Learn things. Ask questions constantly, and be like I said, be curious. That's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. So what's next for SMW Autoblok? You guys are pushing out a lot of cool technology. You guys are working in the end of arm space, the clamping space, the inductive coupler space. What are you guys excited for on the next problem that you guys want to go in and solve?
The big problem for us is going to be IMTS, which is the big show down the road. And, we're ramping up for that show. We're going to be showing a lot of the machine tending things. But we also are diversifying. From this show, we're going to be looking at a lot of the customers that are approaching us and developing a lot of new technology, especially on the inductive couplers that are kind of coming on there. The grippers that we're going to be developing are going to be, this is kind of the soft launch to a lot of the products that we're developing. And then at the end of the year, we're going to be having a full product portfolio. But we've got some things in the pipeline that we're really interested in developing. And we want to make ourselves unique.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's just the big thing out there. When you're going out there and you're wanting to really solve customers' problems, you can't just be off the shelf. No. You have to go out there and you have to design solutions around the problems that are going on. I think this goes back and relates to you saw a problem in the clamping, in the CNC, in the machining space. And you went out there and said, hey, we got to make tool changing easier, especially when companies want to do more lights out tool changing in manufacturing, when they want to be have more productivity, they want to have more efficiency, they don't want to have the machine tied down to an operator who can attend it next. And then you take that technology and say, well, wait a second, we can now take this technology and then move it over to robotics and machines within rotary tables, areas that we need tool changing on. I think it's one of those things that's how a company goes out and creates change in the industry.
Yeah. And it's about being really open-minded about it and looking at that. And like I said, that's how we're approaching the marketplace. We, with that curiosity. And thinking about what the next trends are and being open-minded to it and having great partnerships with a lot of companies out there and learning from the robotics manufacturers here. We're trying to develop those relationships also.
Absolutely. So John, if our audience wants to learn more about what's happening with SMW Autoblok, where do they find you? Where are some good channels they should be finding you at?
Definitely. Well, first of all, if you're at Automate, come and visit at our booth, 3676. That's the first place to kind of look for us. Our website is a great resource. We actually, it's kind of funny, we set up a small, SMW Autoblok is known, we have all that, but we have a website, SMW Electronics, because it's the products, that we're developing there. So basically, smwelectronics.com. A lot of our products are on there and developed, a lot of information there. Like I said, and definitely at the IMTS, we'll be there showing a lot of more of the machine tending. We have a lot of machine builders that are actually visiting the show today and talking to us. But we'll see it at my IMTS, and we'll have a big booth talking about a lot of things, and that'll show the full capabilities of our company.
Absolutely. So online. You check them out on LinkedIn. Check them out on their website with SMW Autoblok or SMW Electronics. And, of course, visit them at upcoming trade shows as well. Or if you're here at Automate right now, there's still time. We're here all day today and tomorrow. Swing by the booth. Learn a lot about what's happening in the industry. John, thanks so much for taking some time today to talk. We really appreciate it. Jake Hall, the Manufacturing Millennial. We'll see you guys soon.